Well, I guess it depends. Can it when you win the rock? Yes, we can. What was mine? A Pinocchio. I hope you know. Pretty name, nigga broke the mold. I got a broke they flow a week ago. Living for the week so we can go. Go, toe to toe, toe to toe, toe to toe. Act like you know, he put them in the forecast so store. He man versus Skeleton. Cash out, bro. Hell yes, Marcus Aurelius. Crashing and roll like you with the masses cold. I like Rocky. Hit him with a big old body blow. Keep me crazy down when I'm up. Machio. Tell me to stop me, yo. Mr. Miyagi, yo. I'm honest, you hear the jalapeno. Kick like wasabi. I tell them all dominoes. Brown house, see what he was in that. Guys fall like dominoes. Brown bubble beat up all sweet beat. Shooting your swift like you think you can. Will you ever meet EP? Who knows? You will never give me 3 feet, you fool. Yeah. There we go. Gotta find it, roll it, roll. So listen to soul, yeah, let's go. Come on. There we go. There we go. There we go. Hey, when I get up on stage, I pass back down to a mic, tie, to a fight, like punch, slide, hit hard like a real movie time, like a time bomb. I'm not gonna tell you right. Here on the mic, if you don't like it, right now, if you don't know that, hit it right. I love to the typical cut. Do it back, we're gonna do it back, quick. Put it to the back, on to the next chapter, right. Yes, indeed, the trust in me. Instead of a mustard seed, a passion seed, anybody that don't get up to the can, the mustard must be free. Mustard can, indeed, the mustard. I don't make nuts, see the right, break nuts, busters. I just do much more digest you in the toilet and flush you. Right, and trust me, I bring passion, break up and nail the hook. Strong in the tradition, evil in the city, so it is. Yeah, they got it, good. Gotta find that grove. So deep in the soul, take it, let's go. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Come on. Let me get him one. Let me hit him with a hook. Come on. Gotta find it, go. So listen to the soul, let's go. Yeah. There we go. Gotta find it.
So what's your name?
My name is Brian Pitts. I'm the CEO of Hidipi Sabamba Comics.
Okay.
And Legends Parallel is our first book that we put out. All the members that work on our book are right here. And we all met on Facebook. We have Alexander Malachev, he did the cover and the posters. We have Leslie Taylor, who did the interiors right here. We have Sherry Vanilla Hardy. She was one of the creators of the whole thing. This is kind of her brainchild. And I'm the owner of the company, obviously, and I'm the character designer. So all the characters I design, and I pass them on to the artists so that they can make the artwork. And Dorothy's actually co-wrote the book with Bill McCormick, who's the writer. And Dorothy's John has her own company called Genty Comics.
Okay.
And she helped us a lot, gave us a lot of direction, build us up, and now we're going.
Cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Kelly. Yes. Nice to meet you too. Okay. Hi. We are with Mr. Nico. Now tell me about your brand. What is Gods of Life? What is it about?
Gods of Life is a series basically revolving around the female protagonist, Mary Val Holland. You can see her right there. But basically, she's on a journey, if you will, or the hunt to figure out the truth behind the death of her grandfather and the disappearance of her father. And she has reason to believe this is all tied to this organization called the Millennial, that's supposed to be like a peacemaker organization. They have groups called mercenaries that are more tied and related to them as like personal guards and whatnot, and they take on certain personal agendas with them. However, to become a mercenary, they hold certain tournaments and whatnot to basically get a new candidate. So Amiri and her gang are basically joined this tournament, and as she goes further along in this tournament, she starts finding out hidden truths as far as what's really going on, and on top of that, you know, finding out that even her own family isn't everything that she thought it was. Mm-hmm. So that's just a little tidbit of what God's Life's got going on.
Okay. Now, how long have your series? What's the name of your company? Is it Shiny
Otaku Comics?
Okay. So how long has your comic book been around?
This particular comic book, God's Life, has been going on for nearly 2 years now.
2 years.
Yep. It went through about 3 transitional periods with different artists before it became set in stone. The current artist we have, the current partnership that's made with her and the writer of the series, Irvin Johnson, or Cloud 9, if you will.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Now, where can people find you?
Be sure to check us out on shaggotaku.com or check our Facebook out.
I would like to know, how long did you have your company? And I see that the name of your company is Naturally Illustrated.
Right. So Naturally Illustrated was born about a year ago. My brand represents everything naturally is. So natural hair, natural care, and it's all about Black movement, Black power, trying to embrace our natural beauty, encourage young girls to love themselves, and again, the color book is a reflection of that. So it inspired me to do a coloring book because I saw these awesome coloring books being published, but nothing that reflects our Black culture.
Right.
So that's the birth of Naturally Illustrated.
Okay. Where can people find you?
Sorry.
Where can people find you?
naturallyill.com.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a nice little device you got there.
Thank you. Can you tell me about the comic books that you make, about your company, and how long you've been in business?
Yeah, Big City Entertainment. Well, actually, Brother Man Comics has been around for 25 years now. It's recognized as a catalyst for the contemporary Black comic movement. There were 11 books out. This trade paperback collection dates back to 1990 when the first book came out, all the way up to 96. We did close to 1 million books independently within that 5-year span. That's before internet. But now we're back with the all-new Brother Man Revelation graphic novel. And this book is the first of a 3-part series that shows the origin of Brother Man, and it deals a lot with his parents. We get into the whole family dynamic. And over here we have the novels written by my brother Guy Sims, who also writes Brother Man. And there's 4 installments of the Cold Hard Case of Duke Denham, which is also a spin-off from the Brother Man comic series. So we're building out the mythology through these novellas, and it's from teen to adult reading.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So what is your newest comic book that you have out this year?
For me, this is the newest one for this convention here. This is still a preview and sketch. I have to finish up the second book, and it'll be out back in April. But I put this out this year because I wanted to do something, get it moving. Then I got a third book I got to come up with by the end of the year, probably by September or October next year. And that'll be the book 3. And that's as far as I've gone on what's penciled already. What I have to do after that is I have to create it again. Because it's a 4-issue series, so to finish up the story, I have to create the 4th book. And I'll probably do that in 2018.
Okay.
We're going to do another anthology in 2017. We already got like 6 or 7 people. We're going to do 8 pages a pop, and we may get some more. And that'll come out in September before the next convention.
where can people find you online?
They can find us our Facebook line page at Detroit Tradecraft. What does that say? www.facebook.com, Detroit Tradecraft.
Okay, thank you. Hello, sir. How are you? What is your newest project that you have?
Hybrid 121.
Now, what is this one about?
It's issue 0. It's how a main character got his superpowers from an alien crash landing during Vietnam.
Cool. Now, what do you plan on doing next year?
We're going to come out with the second book, The Holidays. There's a book called Charlie. We're going to come out with a full one of that one. We have 2 more books. One called Proven Warfare, which he's working on. And we have another anthology book called Melody Sky. And we're looking for artists for that. So we got a lot of stuff going.
Okay. Where can people find you?
Generate Comics, so look up Google Generate Comics, or we're at generatecomics.com. That's comics with an X. You can find us that way. Google us, or that's our website. We're also on Facebook. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy because I kind of resonate with this character just based on your description.
Yes, you're not used to doing this.
I'm not in that stage yet where I'm like, where I feel like I'm bringing out everything.
Right.
I'm definitely like learning myself.
Somebody gets inspiration from you, that's it. That's,
And I'm just allowing myself to be inspired by everyone. I'm in that
That's actually the artwork. How you doing?
Hi, Mr. Arvell Jones. I'm Kelly McAlpine. I had interviewed you.
I can barely hear you.
I said I had interviewed you with Andre Batts for Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah.
And I remember that you was telling me about how you were the artist for Marvel Comics. I remember that. And then you also said that you work for DC Comics as well.
Yes, I did. Some of the titles I worked on. I did The Avengers. I did G.I. Joe. There is my name right there. It's kind of.
Wow.
I won't go get to there. And I did Captain America. Did Captain America versus the Red Skull. The Avengers, G.I. Joe, another All-Star Squadron. Blood Syndicate for Milestone Comics was the first major comic book company that was African American.
Wow.
Which was distributed by DC Comics. Did hardware, I did Cobalt, helped create Cobalt, helped create the female character Technique, which was the female version of hardware. And Superman and Super Side and Super Villain. This is a special. And Daredevil. And that's just a few of the pieces that I've done.
Now, what project are you doing right now at the moment?
On the record, this is a project I'm promoting.
Okay.
On the record. It's the stuff I'm doing off the record. It's called The Specialist. And this is the Specialist Omnibus. And within the Specialist Omnibus, I have a very small story in the back, which is a story about a
a Tuskegee airman who has a jetpack and sort of becomes a superhero back in World War II.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it's a story about racism and acceptance and you know, don't ask me, but anybody looking at this thinks it's the best story in the book.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's a fair story for me, but compared to the rest of the book, it's a great story. And I do it in only 8 pages.
Okay.
And these are some of my pages, but no real photography here because I'm selling this.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm selling this. And if you know, you can videotape all you want the stuff you buy.
Okay.
Okay, but you know, these are originals. They start at $50 and go up.
Okay.
Okay, and these are, you know, prices. I think I don't know what I'm going to charge you.
Okay.
And these prints normally go for $20 and $25, but at the Black Age they're going for $10 and $5. And I have one right here, Luke Cage and Misty Knight, done in the style I drew the book in, and it's only $5 because it's black and white. And I'm a part of history. I'm one of the first black artists to work at Marvel. I said one of them, but I am the first black artist to work for both Marvel and DC Comics at the same time back in the 70s.
Wow. Now, which one did you feel that was more forward thinking with their art? Which one would you say was more forward thinking in their art and they wasn't using blaxploitation as much?
Well, between companies?
Yes, between companies.
That's really hard to say. They kind of both had the same mindset at that time. You know, black exploitation was out there, and even though I was proposing the story and characters that didn't have that in mind, the company was run by Caucasians, and they only knew what they were exposed to. And what they were exposed to in the movie was black exploitation for the most part. So that's how they thought. We as a people thought and acted, and you know, and even though I'm a black person, trying to explain to them, I got into many fights about how we were represented back then. But that's why I got into comics, because when I was younger, there was only Amos and Andy and Rochester on TV. There were no other black. There was no Scandal. There was no, you know, How to Get Away with Murder. There wasn't even a Get Christy Love on at the time, you know. So it was all about educating them. They grew up around their people. They heard their people's stories. You know, the closest they ever got was Sidney Poitier, you know, on the screen to what we were really like.
Right.
And you know, so there was a lot of education. So I can't really blame them for it because they weren't exposed.
Right.
And they weren't giving us the opportunities back then. We had to force our way in, and that's what had to happen. And the way I forced my way in was to be as talented and as energetic and as positive as possible. And that opened the door because they said, how can we deny him? He knows too much. He's too fast. He's too pretty, and he cannot possibly be controlled. Okay.
Hello. What's your name?
Devon Camel.
And what is your latest project?
My current project is called Trojans Are High. And it's a sci-fi action comedy about a young man who goes from being a high school mascot to a giant robot pilot fighting aliens for his first homecoming game. And the first story arc is called Homecoming Hero.
Okay. Where can people find you online?
They can find me online at facebook.com/DevonCamel, Instagram at UrbanGuijin13, and on Twitter at Sketchodesiac.
Okay, thank you. This character, Commander Praise. What is Commander Praise?